My name is Laura Berquist, and I'm the founder of Mother of Divine Grace School. I started the school in 1995 after the publication of my book, Designing Your Own Classical Curriculum. The book sold well, and families asked me for more help in implementing the curriculum I wrote about. I knew that I wanted to offer two things to families educating their children at home. First, I wanted to offer what I found helpful as I home educated my own 6 children, especially the curriculum I developed. And second, I wanted to offer what I would have found helpful if it had been available. In particular, a mentor, someone who had already done what I wanted to do. We began in 1995 with about 75 students. In 2011, there are nearly 4,000. When I started, I was the only consultant. Now there are more than 80 consultants and more than 130 teachers. At the beginning, we had only one program, based on the Catholic classical curriculum I described in my book. Now we offer a number of additional levels of service through the teacher-assisted, teacher-directed, and learning support classes. All of these programs are additions prompted by direct parent and student input. We listen to our families. I am often asked what makes Mother of Divine Grace unique among the various distance learning programs available to families. There are 3 features of our program that immediately come to mind: how we work with families, our vision of education, and the many levels of service we offer. First, there's the way we work with families. Every family is, upon enrollment, paired with an educational consultant. We are very careful about matching our families with the right consultant. Every one of our consultants has used this program in her own home with her own children. She has received additional training, but her primary qualification is that she has actually used the program successfully herself. This makes her an invaluable aid to her families. She can help them with the curriculum and with the kinds of questions that arise as one implements distance learning in one's home. She can explain the content of the courses, and she evaluates assignments from the students. She knows whether the work is consonant with the learning expectations for different levels, stages of formation, and ages of the children. I remember when I was homeschooling my children, I once took my 3rd graders' work to a local brick and mortar school to ask a sympathetic teacher whether the work was good, bad, or average. I only had one 3rd grader, so I had no basis for comparison. This is one of the services I wanted to provide for families. Your consultant has experience, as she knows the training. She has had training in our rubrics and learning goals, so she knows whether your children are working at, below, or above grade level. She can help you with advice and suggestions for the ways to enhance the learning experience of your children. Further, she knows you and your children. She works with you throughout the years. When you call or email her, you are talking to someone who is already familiar with you. You don't have to explain, again, who you are and how old your children are and what classes they are taking. Your consultant already knows. Another unique feature of the Mother of Divine Grace program is the vision of education. What is essential in teaching is that the student do what is appropriate at each period of learning. He should memorize, sequence, and observe at the grammatical stage. This strengthens and makes docile his imagination so that in the next stage of formation, the analytic, sometimes called the logical or dialectical, he will have the help of a trained imagination in following and constructing arguments. In turn, it is essential to this education that when the student is capable of grasping and marshaling arguments, he should practice doing so. If he does, then the last stage, the rhetorical, can be given to articulating those arguments elegantly in the service of the truly noble. The student should, at these various stages, have the opportunity to consider much of the same content in a different light based on his ability, interest, and level of formation. In terms of content, we have the ends of the classical curriculum in mind from kindergarten on. This education begins in wonder and aims at wisdom. It involves the 7 liberal arts: grammar, logic, and rhetoric, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. It also includes the study of nature, the soul, ethics, and politics, the highest created objects, and finally that to which all others are ordered, theology, an understanding of the divine. Liberal education is, in its perfection, Catholic education, for it has the same end, identically, as the Catholic faith, the highest, best, and most perfect object, God Himself. Now, we know there are steps in such an education. One can't begin by studying the very highest things. One doesn't take out the Summa Theologica of St. Thomas and begin the study of nature, the nature of God, with one's second grader. Why not? Because the student won't be able to understand what he reads. He needs to do some preliminary work, but that preliminary work is ordered to eventually understanding the very highest truths. Every assignment in our program keeps this in mind. The third unique feature of our program is the various levels of service we offer. In addition to the basic program, which I already talked about, where parents work with their educational consultant, we have the teacher-assisted program, where students work one-on-one with a teacher, sending in their weekly assignments to be corrected and discussing the corrections with the teacher by phone on a monthly basis. We offer the teacher-directed program as well, where the student similarly sends in weekly assignments but talks to the teacher more frequently. We also offer learning support classes, which are discussion groups where students meet weekly with a group of students and a teacher to have a guided discussion of the curriculum in specific content areas. We offer all of these services in every subject. All of the features of Mother of Divine Grace School, the consultant, and the various programs I have described are intended to help Catholic families interested in classical education give that formation to their children in a living Catholic culture in their own homes. That is what we do at Mother of Divine Grace School.